Hello multi-marine mystery munchkins, and thank you to GC Brain for that mock mention. I'm Ralphie, in the bothy, buttoning up my jacket. I've got the fire on, but it's never that warm here, because this is a traditional bothy. And this is also Ralphie Review 910 Extras, and my subject for this video is cryptocurrency meets Scotch whisky and more. Got my malt, got my notes. I'll tell you what, let's bring the camera a little bit nearer. Right, that's better. Because I really don't need much of the table surface here. Cryptocurrency is a monetary transfer and exchange system based on blockchain technology, and it is enormously fashionable in 2022, although its history is rather checkered, and there is clear evidence that a number of outrageous Ponzi schemes have been successfully executed in the cryptosphere. What's happened is, over the last 20 years, the stock market, due to economic stability, global economic stability, along with technology and engineering and the transfer and sharing of knowledge and opportunity on a global context, has allowed the stock market to increase in value as an investment and to deliver unparalleled returns that have only been seen before in the 1920s, during the Roaring Twenties. This has been fueled by exceptionally low interest rates for a prolonged period of time, and it is within this environment that cryptocurrency has emerged. Very recent phenomenon, and it started with Bitcoin. And Bitcoin was invented and put out into the internet by a gentleman who used a Japanese name as a form of disguise so that his identity could not be revealed. However, it is strongly suspected that the original creator of Bitcoin was a mathematics academic based in the UK who was being sponsored to introduce an electronic transfer system which could ultimately be the base of an international government-controlled electronic financial system, so that it would do away with cash and it would negate the value of other investable currency type investments like gold, silver and whisky, for example. Whisky's always been, over the centuries, been used as a medium of exchange. And initially it would be a matter of survival back in the 17th, 18th century when all the illicit distilling was going on. But then when the taxation came in after the Napoleonic Wars, which is when it happened, when the Bank of England was consolidated, and it was taken control by a family, very powerful, well-organised family, the Rothschilds. And they were very good and still are very good at what they do. And they organised and coordinated tax raising so that it was far more effective than it had been before. And of course, to impose taxes, you must get rid of untaxable things. Now, gold remained as a medium of exchange because all currency at that point would be in relation to gold, because gold was stable, recognised, international, very useful device for the mercantile systems of operation. It had a purpose. But particularly when you're colonising areas of the world, you either want to remove people's ability to make alcohol if they're using it as a currency, or you want to impose alcohol so as to disrupt communities and make them become alcoholics and make them weaker. Alcohol's always been a weapon of good, weapon of bad, always weaponized alcohol every time. But Bitcoin is really the first one, and the reputable one. There was allegedly only so much created, and therefore its value has gone up exponentially. The stability of the platform was also, we are led to believe, as good as you can get. It was not centralised. You didn't have individuals who had a massive stake in the currency, allegedly. But thereafter it was closely followed by copycats. Two good examples are Ethereum and Cardano. And these were more dynamic cryptocurrencies. They basically had a more navigable platform for access, for selling, for buying, for utilising, and all the rest of it. And in a very short space of time, you've got up to 2,000 plus cryptocurrencies. And yes, cryptocurrencies, to get leverage, to get some form of traction, they want to be associated with some tangible commodity that people already recognise as having international recognition, value and worth, and that includes whiskey. So you do have cryptocurrencies that are, for example, cask coin, whiskey trade, names like that. Now, at the moment, they're not particularly prominent, thank goodness, in my opinion. But where you have a cryptocurrency that wants to appear to be more legitimate, they can say, well, we're secured by the value of casks of whiskey. So we have a whiskey-related cryptocurrency. And if they're going to advertise it to investors, who else but within the whiskey community? My advice to you is to be very, 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 very wary of this. You already know, because my reservations are on record as regards investing in casks of whiskey. It's the quality of the casks. It's the name on the casks. That's where the investability is. If it's Macallan, if it's Springbank, if it's Bowmore, if it's Ardbeg, these are enormously investable casks, because these names have a blue chip reputation. If it is Glenkeith, if it is Strathspeyburn, if it is Strathmill, no. I'm just telling you, no. These casks are not, in my opinion, investment grade casks. The thing is, when we invest in casks, we presume it's about the quality and superiority of the maturation from these casks. But you can get some really old casks that look the part and the contents taste like pish. But you never hear about them. You never see them, because the producers, although they're perfectly reasonable, legitimate ethanol drinking alcohol, and the flavour's rotten, they can basically blend them away into something else and get rid of them. These are not investment grade casks. And you cannot go on appearances. Appearances tell you very, very little. I'll give you an example. If you look at an investment grade cask which is being offered as part of your investment stroke crypto portfolio really, you're looking at the cask and it looks a lovely cask and it's all kind of weathered and patined, and it says Oloroso sherry around it, and it has the year underneath, and it says 1975, and you think, oh, such a grand old sherry cask. But let me put it to you this way. You're allowed to presume that it was filled in 2075 or shortly thereafter. It could have been filled the day before yesterday. Yeah, it could have been filled the day before yesterday. And it could be a flat, dead old casket doing absolutely nothing but looking pretty. But I'm not here to talk about investment in casks, but the fact that it's now being appropriated and connected to cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are in fact a massive Ponzi scheme. They are, in my opinion, it's my opinion, so don't start kicking off all you crypto fans. In my opinion, I totally agree with the likes of Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. What's backing crypto? What's tangible? Do you have a business, a company, its assets? Land? Real commodities of significant value? No. The energy of commercial production? No, certainly not. All you have is a belief system. It's called the Greater Fool Theory. The theory is, I'll pay so much for this cryptocurrency because it's worth it, because someone else will want to pay more. No other reason. All cryptocurrency is a Ponzi. Why? Because they make it out that there's a blockchain. It's secured by the blockchain. What you need to know is there's thousands of blockchains, and every blockchain has a source code. And whoever controls the source code controls everything. Simple as that. In my view, the whole thing is a grand experiment to suck in the gullible and experienced who have never known hard times, who have never known a serious Ponzi scheme like the wine industry Ponzi scheme, resale secondary market back in the 1990s. My goodness, what a Ponzi scheme that was. Very much manipulated. And lots of fakes going on. So it was literally Ponzi connected to something a little more tangible to give it credibility and authenticity. But still a Ponzi by any other name. These blockchains, they're used in everything from engineering to learning programs to artificial intelligence. There's thousands of them. The whole thing is an exercise in a real live market trial before the whole thing crashes. Someone somewhere makes billions to help bail out the real stock market crash, to cushion it. Because everything's controlled by the high financiers, and they have their assets. The real people, the real wealthy people have their assets in stock markets and real estate and land. That's where they have it. Look to where rich people store their wealth. It's the sum in cryptocurrency, but they play it by the Greater Fool Theory. They'll hold it for a certain amount of time, but if they need to get rid of it, they'll get rid of it like that. Press of a button. All their cryptocurrency, because it's electronic and it'll be gone. Don't be duped. I do have some cryptocurrency myself. I've got £50 in Bitcoin, just to get the experience and feel of trading using the crypto technique, so as I know in the future how it works. That's it. That's all. I hope you found this interesting. I hope it wasn't too distressing for you crypto fans, because belief, dispassionate, uncritical belief, is a very, very strong instinct in humans, and it's all part of the tribal system. You're part of the crypto tribe, and you drink your wee whiskey, and you see that your Flocky Inu and Doge is going up, and you can see that Tether's getting it's a bit of a bad reputation, but hey, it could still pull through. It's a whole different language, it's a whole different landscape. In fact, cryptocurrency has become a live online gaming. It is literally a gaming station, a gaming platform. It's a casino by another, completely unregulated. And I just want to share that with you. Totally unregulated. When it pops, everybody that's in it, everybody in it, apart from the people that control it, you will lose everything. And they will pop it so as that after that disaster, they can bring out the saviour cryptocurrency from central banks that's already had its live dress rehearsals to be tweaked, tucked, improved and streamlined for mainstream release. Just sharing. Hope you find this useful. My conclusion really is just to bring it back and connect it to whiskey. Whiskey is as much an asset class as cryptocurrency is presented as. With whiskey, there's a tangibility to it as an asset class. In other words, no matter what the market does, you can open that bottle, drink and enjoy the contents. Because whiskey is real. What you've got to watch is that when you invest in a bottle for yourself, when you buy a bottle, where's my bottle? Don't have a bottle handy at the moment. You hold that bottle's yours. But if you invest in whiskey and get a certificate for 12 barrels of whiskey, for example, as part of your portfolio, you've got to ask yourself, actually, how many other people have a share of these 12 barrels in my portfolio? How many times have these barrels been sold over? Reputable cask investors or bottle collection investors, because that's happening as well now, will be fair and even-handed and transparent. But there's others, I assure you, who will not. And I'm here telling you from the bothy, be warned, be careful, be on your guard, and try and keep it basic. If you want to invest in whiskey, buy a really, really nice bottle. It's going to taste good when you open it in the future. If you don't want to open it, you can sell it to someone else. Probably a private sale or through an online auction and get your money back in a wee bit extra. It's quite enough. It's the way to do it. I'm Ralphie. Over and out. The camera's too close to get the signal from the Clivey clicker. This is the Clivey clicker. I shall now click it. And I know, because my brother made it, it's going to work.